Greetings, everyone. DFG here getting flight. Hey guys, just want to take a minute of your time, just as a refresher, to remind you of something that is very, very serious, and just to make sure that you're not, distracted, for lack of a better word. And I'm talking about again the sign of the times that we're confronted with right now here in America, and then beyond the borders of America. And if I can even dial it even deeper to the Hebrew Israelite here in America, I'm talking about the copper color Aboriginal people, Turtle Island, who are called Negro, Black, African American to you. There is a quote that I really like, and I'll share it with you. And it really says it's about wisdom, and it goes like this: It does not take sharp eyes to see the sun and the moon, nor does it take sharp ears to hear the thunderclap. Wisdom is not obvious. You must see the subtle and notice the hidden to be victorious. And I like that statement because, I think that we as a people have gotten so caught up in everything else that's going on around us that we are not understanding the time that we're in. You follow me? There is a scripture here, and it's I want to say it's in Ephesians, but give me a second and I'll give it, right to you. And it's a warning to us. And it goes, yes, it's Ephesians. It says, Ephesians 5:16 and 18. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And I don't think any of us will question that. Wherefore, be not unwise, but be understanding of what is the will of Yahuwah. And be not drunk with wine whereas in excess, but be filled with the Ruach. And what do you mean by the Ruach? It is wisdom. You know what I'm saying? In the book of Acts, one of the things that Yeshua told to Cipher, who we call Peter, that, that he was to tarry in Jerusalem and wait, for the Ruach to come. And when the Ruach would come, it would give him all power and all understanding and all the knowledge that he would need. He said, when it came, you shall have power. And so that power is equivalent to wisdom. You follow me? It was what gave him the wisdom to understand the times that he was in, and it will also give you the time the wisdom to understand the times that we're in, because it's a very dangerous time. I was reading a poll just a minute ago in the Washington Examiner, and it was talking about how 7 out of 10 Americans believe that America is on the verge of a civil war. And, that's serious stuff, guys. 7 out of 10 Americans. If 7 out of 10 Americans believe that America is on the verge of a civil war, that means 7 out of 10 Americans are prepared for that civil war. I wonder where you are, especially you Hebrew Israelites. Where are you in your preparation in case a civil war breaks out in America? Because let me tell you something. You're not going to get recruited by one side or the other side. Anytime they've had civil wars, a race war was a byproduct of those civil wars. Every single time in this country. When there were war for jobs, the so-called Negro was attacked. When there were wars for land, the so-called Native American, who some of us know that's another word for Hebrew Israelite or Negro, were attacked. When there was a war, from a political standpoint, we know again that we were the ones being exploited. I'm talking about the Civil War. In other words, the expansion of the country, the expanding of the government. In all of those instances, whenever that war broke out, we were always the main targets inside of those wars, because we were easy targets. And I think some of us don't understand that right now because we're so caught up in everything else that we are failing to plan. And you know that old thing, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And you might ask, okay, well, DFG, what kind of plan are you talking about? I'm talking about preparation in terms of how you're going to defend yourself. We talked about this before. Do you have resources in your home? Do you have resources in terms of tangible things that you can barter with to get things that you may need at some point if you're in a crisis? Have you insulated yourself with a community? And in this instance, I'll be honest with you, a community that cares enough about you that they will die for you. Now, some of us are in communities where we're, I guess, embraced in those communities, but I don't know if I would go as far as to say that we're in communities where people would die for us. I suspect that some of us in these communities where that if they had to choose between their loved ones and you, you're going to have some serious problems on your hands. So are you in a community that will defend, protect, and die for you? Because if you have not positioned yourself and prepared yourselves for that, if this civil war jumps off, guys, you have never, it's going to be something like you could have never imagined, because none of us has lived through it. Some of our ancestors have lived through it, but none of us have lived through it. None of us. You have no idea the viciousness of an event like that. Yes, 7 out of 10 Americans are saying that it's on the verge of a civil war. And you know the population breakout in America. You're talking about 65 to 70% white. Less than 13%, 12%, I think somewhere around that number, so-called black people. And half of those are children. So you're talking about 6%. So if their prediction of a civil war jumps off, if you don't have a community and you don't have supplies, you have not prepared yourself, then be prepared to see some of the worst atrocities that your mind could ever imagine. Now, I know some of you guys might be saying, okay, DFG using scare tactics. You're a damn lie. You are a goddamn lie. And I had a couple of trolls in this thing the other day. You were talking stupid shit. They made me want to go at him, but I said, you know what? I ain't going after no damn fool. If your ass is that bad, if you know me well enough to be trolling and saying shit like, you probably know where I live. All you got to do is invite me to meet up with you somewhere, and we can settle this. Because I will try to take your head off. But I'm sorry, I love you. But but that is an invitation for the person who knows who I'm talking about. Welfare or something, you got it. Boarding room, you know who I'm talking to. Right? We can get into that. But I think you're a coward. But this is not about fear. This is not about anything like that. This is about understanding, using your wisdom to recognize the times that we're in, for the days are evil. And you need to be prepared. Fearful people are cowardly people. We don't have time for fear. We should be championing one another and putting ourselves in a position that we can defend ourselves and survive and strive in a civil war. Just like our white counterparts, I can assure you, are already prepared. They're already prepared. They're already, just take my word for it, they are prepared. And the most vicious of them will take that opportunity to come after us. You've seen the movie The Purge. You follow me? That's what you're going to see happening. All these folks who, when you walk by them, they don't look at you. They give you that little scowl on their face. You can tell they wish you were not on this planet. They're going to be coming for you. And they're going to be coming with massive weaponry. And they will have no mercy. Now, again, I'm not saying this to scare you. Yahuwah put this in my ruach. So I'm just speaking it. And just for the record, I was going to do this video on 3 different occasions, and something kept happening and Yahuwah just started weaning me. He started taking things off. And I finally realized, because I wanted to say what I wanted to say, and he said, no, you're going to say what I want you to say. Now you're hearing it. And that's all things. If nothing going to back us up, we should go to the book that has the absolute truth. Okay? That's fair. So let's see what the book says here. The book. All right? Our book. The Hebrew Israelite history book. I'm going to take you to Matthew 24. And I'm going to start reading to you right about verse 6. Okay? Real fast, promise you. Matthew 24 and 6. And it says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now I want you to think about what I said about the subtlety, the hidden things, right? That's where wisdom is. You have to see the subtle, you have to see the hidden to be victorious. Are you hearing of wars? and rumors of wars? If you're not, guess what? It's because you're not paying attention. Because there are wars and rumors of wars all over the world right now. Okay? It goes on to say, see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. And what do you mean by the end? I mean total destruction of all civilizations on the planet. For nation shall rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be hunger. There shall be diseases. There shall be earthquakes, tornadoes, and divers hurricanes in many places. All these are the beginnings of sorrow. In other words, when you see all these things going on that I just read off, it's telling you it's the beginning. It's like a mother about to give birth. Those birth pains, the labor pains. He said, when you see these things, they are labor pains. Means it's about to come. Then shall many of you be delivered up and be afflicted, and they shall kill you. Now he's talking to the Hebrew Israelites, I might add. The Israelites is who he's telling this to. And this is a prophecy, because the question was asked to him, what was the sign of his retirement in the end of the world? Just so you know, this is prophecy. He said, you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. I don't know if there's any nation on this planet that can honestly say they love the black Hebrew Israelite, other than the black Hebrew Israelite. I'm talking about as a nation. I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the whole nation of people, the whole group of people, all Irish, all Italian, all Nigerians, all Japanese, all Koreans, all Englishmen, I'm talking about that, all Venezuelans, and all Puerto Ricans and some of those other islands too. I'm not going to leave you off Dominica, etc., because you hate us too, many of you. And many shall be afflicted, and shall betray one another. We see that going on. And many false prophets, the T.D. Jakes of the world, shall arise, and they shall deceive many, the Joel Osteens of the world. And because wickedness shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. In other words, it becomes so evil that we're going to confuse love with lust. Homosexuality, transgender, pedophilia, etc. Transgender. Or it's all about love, when it's all about lust. But he that shall endure to the end is the one who's going to make it. Now, let me go back to where I began. It does not take sharp eyes to see the sun and the moon, nor does it take sharp ears to hear the thunderclap. Wisdom is not obvious. You see, when this thing comes, it's going to come suddenly. You know what I'm saying? In a blink of an eye, real fast. But it's on the verge of coming. You heard me read that out of, this was Yeshua, as a matter of fact, who I was quoting, just so you know. Yeshua, your Savior, our Savior. You must see the subtle and notice the hidden to be victorious. That's what he's warning us of. And again, in closing, you say, okay, well, what should we do? I already said it in the beginning. Do you have supplies? Do you have resources? Do you have a community who's going to unite with you? Or do you have a passport to get the hell out of Dodge? Because when that civil war comes, it's going to come quick, it's going to come fast, like a thief in the night. And if you're not prepared for it, then, as what that saying goes, those that fail to plan to fail, then understand that the blood of yourself and your family is going to be on your head, especially you men. But a lot of you mothers are in the headship in your homes. So you are included in this. And I will tell you guys now, it's time to unite. It's time to come together as a community. And a lot of you single women out here, I know you bad, but you ain't so bad that you don't need a man in times of protection, in times of a civil war. You take that and do whatever you want to do with it. But to my Hebrew Israelite brothers and others, it's getting close. Again, be you ready for such a time you think not? It's going to come. Thank you guys. As always, I appreciate you listening. Just sharing. Ultimately, it's your decision. It's not about fear. It's about wisdom. Revelation 21:8. It says, it starts off, the fearful and the unbelieving are going to be destroyed, just like the murderer, you follow me, and the adulterer and every other wickedness. Love you guys. Thanks for listening.